Welcome back, y'all.
What up, fool? How are you?
So good.
So good.
You know why? Because we're talking about conflict.
Conflict. We were just having a small conflict.
We were.
And we were talking about how to communicate through it. So I didn't tell you your hair was messed up.
I always tell you when you're looking a little funky.
Yeah.
And I also tell you when you're like on points. I get zero feedback.
Yeah, no, I'm just task oriented.
I'm like, why didn't you tell me my lash was like, bah, and you didn't say anything?
I just moved straight ahead.
Yeah, no. There's zero feedback.
It's not a strength.
The watch is on my elbow. Hair's fucked up. Eyelash.
The watch is something I'm never going to live down.
That is your moment. The whole team gives you crap about that. I had a watch on my elbow one time.
Yeah, during a video we were making for a promotional video. Yeah. In hindsight, it did look pretty fucked up. Like, I should have said so. I didn't even notice it. I was so
no.
It's very like it's a lot of insight into working with Taylor.
I don't know. You're very, very detail oriented.
Yeah.
So I expect you to say something, but then you're like, your comment to me was, you're always wearing some weird shit.
Nice.
I was like, that's fair. It was like, could have been a fashion statement.
Yeah, it's like maybe elbow watches are a thing. I don't know. These janky ass elbow watches.
It's just a watch on your elbow. Yeah. How productive would that be? Instead of like elbow bump, you're like, what time is it?
What time is it? Hey, let me get a peek on that time.
So, if you want fashion advice, don't go to Taylor. Actually, that's not true. You're like Mr. Fashionista.
I'm gonna try to be.
So
I'm just looking out for me. I looked great in that video for anyone.
You looked great. Yeah. I looked like a fucking train wreck. So we're just talking about conflict.
And today we're going to talk about how to lead through conflict without losing trust. This is the thing that typically you still trust me, even though you...
I don't trust you with fashion advice. I like try to pull out my camera and be like, is my face fucked up? What happened?
All right, so this is great. So you're going to do it. We're going to teach you how to do it and not erode trust, which is what's now clearly happened.
What not to do with Taylor Thomas.
Yep.
Get fashion advice. So, of course, I have a question.
I love it.
I mean, if you ask me this question... We know that it would be the watch elbow. So where is a place that there was conflict that I eroded trust?
You specifically.
Ooh, we're going there.
Ooh, okay.
Now, I don't even know. So now I'm like, oh, God.
Yeah, let's see.
The pendulum is about to be shattered.
I know. Conflict. I don't know. It's interesting. I mean,
for a little disclaimer, we trust each other probably too much.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to think about the question. Although I will say, I've talked about this in the instances that we have had conflict, where I actually think it has always ended up being very productive, like immediately on the other side of it. Like we've talked about that explicitly. Like, oh, that actually, like, I remember you said this to me one time, like we had an argument and you were like, oh, that actually felt like love, because like, I know it's really hard for you to like express yourself and like get, like be adamant about that particular thing. And I was like, oh yeah, like just now on the other side, like in the same conversation, like, felt like that. So I mean, I'm sure there's instances of that, but I think I don't know, maybe I'll just like turn the question on its head. Like I think, well, I'm sure there's like nitpicky stuff that I've gotten frustrated about, and certainly you to me.
Clearly I'm the critical one.
I think the big stuff, like the thing that actually like the things that like move the needle or like are important and were like had to be addressed, or like we wouldn't have moved forward or something like that. I think I've actually been consistently like really proud of how we've managed that or communicated through that. Because like, I mean, building a business is brutal. Leadership is hard. Like doing it with someone else, while really great and fun, like it's another layer. Like partnerships are hard. Like it's related. It's like marriage or anything else, right? I mean, we say this all the time. Like I definitely spend way more time with you than I do my wife.
Yeah.
And you in the other direction. So like it takes as much effort, if not maybe even more, to like communicate effectively in a business partnership.
Well, and there's just so many daily details. Not that there's not with your family, but I just like a lot, if somebody doesn't do the dishes or pick up the right chicken, you're gonna like move on. If somebody like doesn't handle business correctly, like there could be like really large costs. So sometimes the cost is just so much, it's just so clear in the direction that you're going in business. And so
your family leaves you for most of the day. Like your business doesn't, right? Like we talk about that all the time. Like we spend most of our time working for the most, 80% of our time for a lot of us, or more is spent working.
I was gonna say we're like
98.9%.
Yeah.
And that's because, we're passionate about it. I don't know. Yeah. It's a dynamic situation no matter how you slice it. And I think that's why this topic is so incredibly important, is because communication is the thing that moves business forward. Like we high level, we think it's the idea, we think it's the product, we think it's the whatever, and that's the spark. But the communication, and i.e. the team that moves that business forward, is the only way that thing is successful. Right? Best idea in the world, like poor communication, conflict avoidant, crappy team, that's the difference between a successful business and not, because that team is the thing, is the mechanism that gets it out in the world. And communication is, that's what people respond to, right? We're humans. It's interpersonal.
Yeah.
You can't remove the need to do this well. And when you're talking about working with people, you are inevitably and absolutely talking about conflict. And that's okay. So we're also going to change the narrative around that today. That doesn't mean that's not a bad thing, right? It's part of it.
We don't like it. Like we don't like it because we're not necessarily productive in it. You know what I thought you were gonna say? I thought you were gonna say like because you like pop off.
What's the context?
I don't know. Sometimes like we're occasionally we'll have like, I'll say something and like I'm a pretty direct communicator. When I get a little, if it's not in alignment, I'm very clear and a little too direct. So I thought you were going to say that. I'm actually surprised.
Oh,
I was waiting for it. I was like, oh gosh, he's going to be like, you're fucking loose cannon, bro. Take a beat.
Yeah. I don't feel that way. I mean, again, yeah, like there's like, yeah, I mean, I'm sure like, for being honest, it's probably like multiple times a day where like both of us are just like, God damn, like fucking shit. Like, but then you're like, it's fine. Like you move on, or we like, we'll address it and be like, no, it's not, like, I don't feel that way. Or like, that's not how I think we should handle this. Or like, and I feel that way because, and I feel like we sidestep it. Like that stuff. Yeah. Like
it doesn't erode trust when I pop off occasionally.
No, you just need to like calm your ass down. Fucking get it together. And again, I got my shit too. Like it's, the
grays.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get into it.
Let's do it. Why is conflict inevitable? This is the thing. We're not gonna sidestep it.
Stop trying not to have conflict.
It creates tension. This is the thing, right? Is like when we think that conflict avoidance is an appropriate culture or an appropriate approach, all it does is create unspoken tension, which is so detrimental.
Yeah.
No one's moving forward. So why is it inevitable? Let's start there.
Yeah. Well, it's inevitable because you're a freaking human.
Right.
And without conflict, aka resistance, you don't grow. So when you have a vision and like you have a clear ambition and people, you'll have tension. It's that clear. And avoiding it doesn't protect relationships. It actually fractures them. And typically it's a slow roast. So it's just like silently, suddenly, especially if you have peacemakers aka on the Enneagram, peacemakers or achievers on your team, it's just going to be like nothing, boom.
Yeah.
So if you think
they'll pop off in a bad way.
Oh, and then it's like over.
Yeah, they'll pop off and then leave.
Or like worse. And like, have you ever been around a couple that like, you're like, they had no problems, and then they're just like divorced?
Yeah.
The same shit happens in your team, y'all.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So if you're like, we have no conflict. No, you just have a bunch of inauthentic people who are not being honest. Like, it's not that it's inauthentic. It's just not transparent or vulnerable. So, I mean, you could call it authentic, but like that sometimes hurts feelings. So I'll be nice. It doesn't exist. We've worked with hundreds of cultures, hundreds of teams in all different industries across the boards, different personality types, and conflict it has to be a part of business.
Mm-hmm.
And so great teams normalize healthy conflict.
Let's do it.
Guys, if we don't have a process, if we don't have a culture who know how, and we don't understand how to do this, it's not going to go well. It's like any other part of your business. If you don't have system standards and procedures, then you're just not going to do it well, because conflict resolution takes practice. And so we have to get good at this. Otherwise, it will crush your culture. So, Taylor, if we don't want to crush our culture, how do we do this well? Because we're pros at it. I'm just kidding. Totally kidding.
Yeah. But I mean, very aware that it takes practice. This should be top of mind, I think, all the time, right? Again, there is no such thing as a lack of conflict. It is either being addressed or it's being hidden. And so you have to address it. So if we're going to all agree on that, we're going to say, nope, that's, I don't have a culture where like everything's fine. We just have a culture where people aren't talking about it. We recognize that that's not the right approach. Then we need some tools to navigate it well. I'm going to give you a handful. First one is to use I language instead of blaming. So that can sound like any number of things, but this is where I think kind of the first inflection point, typically where conflict is either done well or goes sideways. Where if you come in hot and you pop off like Christine does, and you start blaming people, that's not going to go well. People don't respond well to that. That is also, I think, where it turns into true conflict versus a opportunity for communication that allows you to navigate just a charged experience, right? Like there's the only thing that makes something a conflict is how it's handled and the language and tone that are used to handle it, to navigate it.
Yeah.
If it's not charged language and there's ownership from both sides, it literally, the equation doesn't exist that creates conflict. So use I language, take ownership. Don't come in hot.
Expect the best.
Expect the best.
How do you use I language and not blame? Expect the best.
Yeah.
Until you know.
There you go. Love it.
Stop using assumptions. Okay, go on.
Assumptions make an ass out of you and me.
Oh, Taylor was told that one time.
I'm sure that I was. When was I? Do you have a specific?
During RAM.
Oh, nice. Jesus Christ. I just had a flashback. The focus on, so next one, focus on impact, not intention. So when you are addressing this conversation, when you are addressing conflict, you want to focus on what is on the other side of the opportunity for communication. You and I do talks on this all the time. This is one of our kind of core things that we talk about. And you can think about it like a roadblock. And the thing that is causing conflict is the roadblock. Let's say it's a tree falls in the road. What we see is the tree in front of us. We don't see the road on the other side. And so we focus on the tree and we don't focus on the opportunity on the other side of it. We don't focus on the fact that if we just get over the tree, if we approach things from what's on the other side, from the opportunity and the impact that ultimately addressing that thing will have, then it actually is better for everyone. So focus on impact, not intention. The intention side of that would be, what am I going to get out of this? right? How is this going to make me better? Focus on the impact overall. What is having this conversation going to do for the overall trajectory of the thing that we're trying to accomplish, right? This project we're trying to move forward, this person I need to work with that I'm really struggling to connect with, this focus on the impact. Next, validate before you redirect. So this is in alignment with that I language versus blame. Make sure that the person knows that you understand them, right? And also make sure that you are focused on what's most important to move things forward versus being right. So conflict is not about being right. Doing conflict well is not about being right. Doing conflict well, again, is about focusing on the impact. When we try to redirect, meaning we try to shift the focus away from what we did, we try to shift the focus away from our need to take ownership in this particular instance, when we try to get away from the thing, that just doesn't address the true opportunity there, right? Doesn't address the impact.
Do you want to be right, or do you want to resolve the issue and stay in a relationship?
Love it.
So those are your choices, right? Or resolve.
Love that. So I'm going to give you a bit of a jumping off point, a bit of like a script, because this can seem a little foreign, because it does take work. So what you can say in a particular communication opportunity where conflict may arise. Again, let's not assume that there has to be conflict. Let's go into it with the mindset that we can navigate it. And again, it doesn't have to get heated because of our tone and the language that we use. So an example of that would be to say, what I want most is clarity and connection. Can we talk through something that felt off? Right, so I'm going to say that again. What I want most is clarity and connection. Can we talk through something that felt off? So you can see how right there, that's focused on impact versus intention. The impact that I want is clarity and connection. I don't care if I'm right or wrong or what actually happens on their side of this, to the extent that I don't care how it makes me feel or how I look. What I want most is clarity and connection. So with that in mind, can we talk through something that felt off? That also, it creates ownership, right? I'm not blaming someone. I'm saying, hey, can we talk about how you fucked up? Talk about how, right? So we're using language that supports our overall impact. So just try that on for size. Insert whatever language feels appropriate for you. But again, an example of that would be, what I want most is clarity and connection. Can we talk through something that felt off? And that right there disarms language like that. Some introductory sentence like that disarms 95% of the things that turn into conflict.
Yeah.
So huge win. Just shift your language, shift your from that intention to impact. Take some ownership. Focus more on what the outcome is versus you being right.
And get clear on what you want.
Yeah, huge shift. All right. So we do it.
Yep.
What happens?
Okay, so here's some qualifiers to know if you're doing this well. I think these can kind of be like a scorecard. This is how I think about just creating a scorecard. Like, okay, we do conflict, I think, pretty well. Here's how you know. So you'll have more alignment and faster execution. You're going to have stronger trust within the team. So if your team doesn't trust each other, we hear this all of the time. I just feel like our leaders don't trust each other. Okay, great. Then you're probably not doing conflict well. That is like a very clear qualifier that you're probably need some upgrades as far as how we're resolving conflict. And this next one, you guys, this is my favorite because it is, I have so much data to know that this is true. Conflict becomes your best culture and customer service strengthener. My greatest cheerleaders, my greatest clients have been the ones that we have had the most conflict with, and we have done well in resolving it. I actually had, Penny was calling, I don't know if I told you this. Someone that does some follow-up calls was calling people, and she got someone on the phone, and was trying to book a meeting with us.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy was like, is Christine even going to show up?
Oh, you did tell me that. Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh. She called me and was like, hey, this guy doesn't seem very happy with you. And I was like, oh, geez. Like, I feel so bad. I totally dropped the ball. Like, he wasn't wrong. I did drop the ball. I didn't follow up after I had to move an appointment. And like, I guess I assumed, right, that he had my link and he'd hop back on. I didn't send a follow-up call. So anyhow, I called him immediately. Like, I didn't wait till the appointment she booked. I called him immediately and I was like, hey, I'm really sorry. That was not how I wanted to handle that. I was in the middle of moving. I apologize. And we had our meeting last week and it went so good. And it was because I actually like took ownership and just was like, I messed it up. I'm really sorry. He's like, I respect you so much. Like, no one does that anymore. I was like, I know. That's why I freaking do it.
Wow.
And I have hundreds of examples of this, of like clients who are like, we hate you, and took ownership, went through those things, didn't blame, and we're like the heroes. And I love that. Okay, last one. You will actually have innovation. You will find more solutions in your organization than you knew were possible because you're not avoiding discomfort. You're actually leaning into solutions. So if we actually get curious and we have the hard conversations, we address the conflict, we're going to find more innovative ways to do great things because we're not the bottleneck. We don't stop it up because we're afraid of conflict. And bonus one, when you do it, your team will do it because you're modeling it. And now it's a part of your culture and not just something that you do. So guess what's next?
Leadership challenge.
Ding, ding, ding. We traded. Look at that.
Fun. Did you like doing the ding, ding?
I did.
It's fun, right?
I think you're better at it, but
I don't know.
Sound effects. You're welcome, guys. So what's our leadership challenge today, Taylor?
I want everyone
to
think about what conversation you're avoiding right now.
Oof.
We all have one at any given time. And then the challenge is I want you to pick one. Usually there's more than one. So pick one of the conversations that you're avoiding right now, and I want you to schedule it. I want you to take the tools that we've given you. I want you to take the framework that we've provided, that script that I gave you earlier, and I want you to just initiate the conversation. I want you to stop avoiding it. I want you to know that avoidance is not creating the outcome that you want. It's not creating the impact that you want. And I want you to actually face it head on. And I want you to lead with clarity. I want you to lead with care. And then when you do that, I want you to watch how it actually builds trust. There is so much, like the example you just gave, people will always respect you more when you face it head on.
Yeah. And that I literally sat there and I was like, I don't want to hit this. I didn't want to make the call. I was like,
I remember actually we were on the phone. I was like, I'm going to hang up. You should call that guy.
I was like, I was sitting outside with my daughter and I was like, I'm going to make this call. Like, I didn't want to do it. It felt very hard. Sure. I will be honest. I mapped out the story like it was sexy. It didn't feel sexy in the moment. Yeah.
No, it's hard for sure. And I think that's good. But knowing too, again, that's you prioritizing the impact versus your own comfort, right? You knew that was going to be, it was the right thing to do. One, it built trust because that's what we care about. We care more about our culture and we care more about our impact than our own personal comfort. And so when we prioritize that, it actually creates the thing that we say we want most versus keeping people comfortable, pretending it's okay. That's avoidance culture and no one's happy and thriving in that. So pick your conversation. I know you have one. Put it on the schedule and have the conversation. And have this conversation through the lens of building trust and making a better impact or a bigger and more substantial impact on the other side of that conversation that you're avoiding. And if you want help with that,
we got you.
We got you. You can find us at impactinitiative.network, and we'd love to hear from you. You can drop us a note. Let us know what you're thinking, what's working, what's not, how we can support. And then if you're in the greater Denver area, we're getting folks coming from like further and further away. So even if you're not that close to Denver, you should make the drive. This month, June 25th, that is a Wednesday, We're doing our health and fitness business roundtable for entrepreneurs in the health and fitness space. Incredible opportunity to collaborate and problem solve with like-minded, driven individuals in that industry. And then on the Thursday, day after that, we're doing our service hub. So for trades and service industry business owners in that space who are really trying to work through the very real challenges in those industries, we are here to support those folks as well. Incredible opportunity, great turnout. Kick ass people, like people that are doing incredible stuff, building really, really awesome businesses, hiring great, like super, super cool. So you get all those people in a room, you start to expand your opportunity, you start to expand your ability to problem solve and think about things differently. So if you're anywhere close, obviously I'm biased, but I would prioritize driving this way because it's awesome. So we'll put all that information in the show notes. And again, you can find us at impactinitiative.network. Until then, we'll see you next time on Impact Mind.